Hey, this is Bill from Calderwood Percussion with another weekly shop update. Sorry I missed last week. I got really sick and had to be out of the shop for a couple of days, but I'm back now. So sorry if you emailed and didn't get a response, or if it took me a long time. I'm still kind of catching up on some of that stuff. But anyway, back now, and there's a few things I want to show. First of all, this little guy. This is a 10-inch by 10-inch rope tension field snare. Obviously meant for younger players, but it is still absolutely a professional quality instrument built to the same level of detail and standards as every other instrument we make. That's one of those things that I get kind of soapboxy about. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a teacher. I mean, I still teach, but full time. I used to teach middle school band for several years and high school band for several years, and it would always drive me nuts when kids would come in with instruments that were just like basically unplayable. When I was teaching middle school, there was this one kid that brought in a trumpet, and like I could barely make it. I'm pretty comfortable playing trumpet, but like I could barely even play this thing. And like, how was this kid supposed to be successful? I mean, the instrument was just setting the student up for failure. And I always get really super frustrated when I run into these situations where kids have these instruments. It's a student instrument, but what that means is it's a crap instrument, And of course, not all manufacturers do that, but it really frustrates me when they do it. And in the drum world, I mean, pretty much everything that I've seen that's child instruments, whether rope tension or drum sets, has just been garbage. So it's important to me to make stuff for younger players. It's like for real, So yeah, it's 10-inch by 10-inch bird's eye maple shell with painted maple hoops, and whether you have a young drummer that you would like to get a nice instrument to inspire them, or maybe you'd like to have an instrument in your core that, like, whenever you've got someone real small coming up on the line, that you have something that they can use that's not going to just be way too big for them to drag on the ground. But yeah, it's small, but it's still a very playable snare drum. So anyway, this is available now. $225 plus shipping. If you would like it, just drop me a line. Also, we've got these two 16 by 16 maple shells. The varnish is done. They're now ready for wet sanding and buffing and polishing. These are currently unclaimed. Now, left to my own devices, I will I'll make hoops for these and set them up, probably maybe with exotic hardwood hoops. That's kind of something I'm really into lately. But if you've been thinking about getting a new drum going into this muster season, these two shells are ready to go. So you could choose what you want for hoops and heads and hardware and everything. Design the rest of the drum however you would like. And one of these two shells could be your next drum. And since the shells are done and varnished, we can have them ready for you really pretty quick. So if you'd like one of these, drop us a line and we can hook that up. Also, this is a drum that we did a while ago that actually I'd kind of forgotten about. It's been on a shelf for a while, but I found it again, and I'd really like to get this out in the world. This was a collaboration that we did with an artist named Whitney Brooks, who's a good friend of mine, and she's just a really brilliant artist. She drew on the shell. It's pencil and India ink, and she just did a beautiful job. It's inspired by social causes that are important to her, and as part of the collaboration, I said the proceeds would go to benefit a charity of her choice, and she wanted it to go towards the Zinn Education Project, which I hadn't heard of before. But then once I learned about it, I was like, wow, this is awesome! Like, definitely, this is a thing I'd love to support. So. So this drum is going to go up for auction. I think I'm just going to use eBay, and I will post this just as soon as I get a chance to do that. But I just want to let everybody know that it's a really beautiful drum. I think it's 6.5 by 13. Super kick-ass drum with really beautiful artwork on it, and I'm really excited to get this out there. So I'll post links to the auction as soon as I get it up, yeah, so that's coming soon. The last thing that I wanted to show is this. So this is an almost finished suspension stand for concert bass drum. It is going to be used for this 36-inch monster. this stand has gone through a couple design iterations. We did one like this for the Beverly High School band, and based on that we made a couple more revisions, and this is sort of our final design for our suspension stand for concert bass drum. With other stands that I've seen on the market, for one thing, I think they're ugly, and I think that this being wood is a much more beautiful stand. But as a functional standpoint, one of the things that really drives me nuts is with stands as they get old, they're always made out of metal and they start to rattle over time. Parts wear and there's more slop and play in the parts and they start to rattle. So that's super annoying when you're playing. I mean, sometimes it can be heard from the audience, sometimes it can't, but either way, while you're playing the drum, it drives you nuts, One of the big design concepts going into this project was to build a stand that could not rattle. There is almost no metal touching metal anywhere in this stand, and the one or two places where there are virtually impossible for those pieces to wear in such a way that they could vibrate. So it's a stand that it looks beautiful, it's rugged, it can't rattle, and obviously you can adjust it to any playing position that you could want. So it's almost finished. It's going to get an adjustment knob on the side, and it needs a few other finishing touches, but it's almost there. And so that with this is going to be our I guess flagship concert bass drum that we're going to make available. So again, this is 25 by 36. This thing is a monster. Again, I'm going to try and record it, but trying to capture sounds like this with even the nicest of microphones is very difficult. Even then, playback systems have a difficult time reproducing the kinds of sounds that things like this can make. But yeah, it's a super cool drum. And again, with the rattling thing, there's almost no metal on this drum at all. And even what there is, it's not in a place where it could really cause vibration. So yeah, I think that we've designed a pretty great instrument for orchestral or concert bass drum applications, and I'm really excited to get this thing finished up, get the mounts on here, get it all put together, and get it to a rehearsal so I can hear it in the context of an orchestra. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. So looking forward to that. But that's it for now. I gotta get back to work. But thanks, and I'll see you next time.